Well, I believe that everyone has an artist somewhere, even if it's deep inside. But to be dedicated enough and actually have that career in art take off, well, that's a little more difficult. And my next guest is living proof of that. In his new book, Be the Artist, he's helping others find a career in art and has some incredible tips along as well. So please welcome to the Cocoa Couch, Mr. Thomas Detour Evans.
How are you?
So happy to have you here. I've been looking forward to this for a couple weeks now, having you on as a guest.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. All about you and your philosophy on art. So what's it been like to publish a book like this?
Really good. I mean, I've been sort of giving out sort of advice over the past 5 years and learning a lot as I'm becoming sort of this full-time artist. And people have been asking me questions. I've been sort of like trying to answer everyone's questions about what I've been learning. So to actually put it in a written form where people can sort of get it outside of Instagram, outside of just like digital media, and carry it around with them, regardless of whether in school, you know, full-time on another job, they can actually digest information. So for me, it was really good to sort of almost unleash all the stuff that I've been learning and have people just absorb sort of like a lot of these nuances when it comes to the art world, because I didn't go to school for art, you know, I went to school for business, I got my MBA, did a whole sort of detours in, you know, with my career. I went to Tanzania for a while to volunteer, came back and decided to say, I want to do art full time. So, you know, past 5 years, I've just been learning a lot, and to have this book sort of come out, it's like sort of almost like this declaration of I am an artist now. So for me, it's super exciting to have people read it and sort of digest everything that I've been going through, because they're going through the same thing as well, trying to be that full-time artist. Yeah,
we're all trying to figure it out in some way or another. Why do we call you Detour? Where's that name come from?
Ooh, that came from high school. I was actually doing a ton of breakdancing back in the day. I can't do it now. I can't do it now. So I was doing a ton of breakdancing back in the day, and it actually came from a DVD that I bought a while ago in high school, and it had the word Detours in there. And you know, Thomas Evans doesn't have the right ring when you want to be a cool dancer, so I decided to use Detour, and I just stuck for a good another 15 years.
It works well, it flows. So let's talk about your Art Tip Tuesday. I love that you take concepts and elevate them, but still make them accessible within art. Talk about what you're putting up for folks.
Really, it started when I was just getting started becoming a full-time artist, and I was just sharing all the behind-the-scenes stuff I was doing, so process, techniques, and people were always asking me, hey, how do you use that color? How do you use this brush? Or how do you do this? And I kept answering people back, but some of the questions were really common, so I said, you know what, let me just do an art tip on Tuesdays to sort of address that question. And that sort of just went from there, and like 5 years straight, every Tuesday, I just been posting up different techniques or processes, but it started to really dive into a lot of these soft skill elements when it comes to full-time arts, the things that a lot of artists don't talk about or they don't teach in art school. So everything from how do I sort of network while being an introvert? How do I get over my fear of rejection from a gallery? How do I find residencies? How do I price my work? A lot of those things aren't talked about in sort of just, you know, art school or when you meet your friends, things like that. So it was like, oh, let me actually talk about a lot of those things, because I'm going through that right now, and a lot of other artists are going through that same thing. Let me have this sort of space where everyone can have a piece of that conversation and get something from it.
So where can we see some of your art that's around the Denver metro area?
Yeah, so I do a lot of murals. So I have one big one off of I-70 between Colorado and Quebec. I have a ton of murals in Five Points, Rhino area, but I do a lot of work at this place called Miller Art Kitchen. It's sort of like my second gallery. So I hang a lot of my new work there, and basically also Redline and Temple Denver Arts as well. So I'm a little bit of everywhere when it comes to Denver and sort of providing artwork to the arts community.
Yep, I love it. And the best place to start, I think, is just your incredible Instagram page. We've got a couple seconds left here, so let's wrap it up on this. Why is it so important for young people to feel like they're welcomed into the art world to get started at that young age?
Well, in the art world, or just like in general, you want to make sure there's representation. And if you're not in that conversation, you're not being represented. So having access to art, but also art knowledge about how to be a full-time artist is super, super important. That's why I really wanted to create the book, to help artists who have access and don't have access be able to make it, so that there's this rich community of people who are just, you know, various backgrounds being able to have that conversation when it comes to visual arts.
Well, I'm a believer, and I've been stealing this book. I stole it from our director, Moss, and I've been taking it home every day. So it's got so many good tips, and you've got areas to write your notes and doodle things down.
Yeah.
So I really want people to check it out, especially if they have any sort of itch to be a creative themselves. So next Friday, February 21st, you can make your way to Redline Contemporary Art Center at 2350 Arapahoe Street. And that's where Thomas Detour Evans will be holding an artist talk and discussion surrounding his new book, Be the Artist. And every Tuesday, he posts a new art tip on his Instagram page. You can follow him at Detour303.